For hundreds of years, the galaxy had been quiet. Too quiet. The great alien empires spread across the stars, building cities that floated above gas giants and towers that touched the edges of space. Trade routes glowed like silver veins between worlds, carrying riches, soldiers, and secrets. Peace existed, but it was not born from kindness. It came from fear. Fear of the old wars, fear of the one species that had once burned half the galaxy in rage, fear of humanity. But humanity was gone, or so everyone believed. Long ago, the united alien races had fought against Earth. They remembered the way humans never surrendered, how they fought even when their worlds turned to dust. The war ended when Earth itself was bombed from orbit. Oceans boiling, cities turned into ash. The last human fleet was hunted down and destroyed near the red star of Helios Prime. At least that was what history said. Centuries later, humanity became a story, a warning told to alien children. "Do not provoke the Terrans," they would whisper. They were dangerous, unpredictable. They loved their freedom more than life itself. But legends fade. And over time, even fear becomes lazy. One night, deep on the edge of the Orion sector, a small alien patrol ship named Varith 9 drifted through the dark. Its crew of 5 was bored, half asleep watching the scanners flicker. Space was empty, silent and cold. Then a sound, a faint pulse like a heartbeat, echoed through their senses. The captain, a tall reptilian officer named Jarek, frowned. "Recheck the frequency," he ordered. Could be a glitch, but the sound came again. Stronger this time, rhythmic, human. The technician turned pale. "Sir, this pattern, it matches old Earth transmissions," Jarek laughed. "Impossible. Humans are dust. Check your data again." The signal continued. Then suddenly the ship's lights dimmed. Every console flickered. Something massive appeared on their radar, cold, silent, and moving toward them. "Size?" The captain barked. "Unknown," the technician whispered. "It's bigger than a dreadnought." Outside the viewing window, stars disappeared behind a shadow. A shape emerged from the dark, metallic, ancient, covered in scars. It had no lights, no markings, just a symbol burned deep into its side. A circle of blue with 12 stars. The mark of humanity. "Contact it," Jarek said, his voice shaking. "Now!" Static filled the air. Then through the noise a voice spoke. Calm, human, cold. "We remember everything you did to us." The bridge went silent. Then the transmission cut off. The alien ship's engines shut down by themselves. Systems died one by one. Life support, shields, navigation. The crew screamed as gravity shifted. The shadow outside opened like a mouth of steel, swallowing the patrol whole, and then silence again. Hours later, in the capital world of the Zarn Empire, the patrol signal vanished from every network. No distress call. No debris, nothing. Officials called it a malfunction. But in the dark corners of the galaxy, whispers began to spread. Miners spoke of strange lights beyond the nebulae. Traders claimed their ships were followed by invisible eyes. A few swore they had seen a fleet of black ships moving without sound. No transponders, no heat signatures. A name began to return to the stars. Her name that once made empires tremble. Humans. But these were not the same as before. They had been gone too long, changed too much. Rumor said they lived in the dead zones, places where stars had died and time itself seemed broken. Others said they built a fortress made of asteroids, powered by ancient suns, and deep inside one of those cold systems, a fleet waited in the dark. Rows of massive ships, silent and ready. In the center of them all stood the largest vessel ever built by human hands, a black titan named Ark of Sol. Inside, the humans slept no longer. Admiral Rhea Carter opened her eyes as the cryo chamber hissed open. Frost fell from her uniform like dust from history. Her eyes, sharp and gray, reflected the light of awakening engines. "Status," she whispered. A robotic voice replied. "Fleet integrity, 98%. Weapons operational. Targets identified." She looked at the holographic map before her, the galaxy glowing in soft blue. Millions of alien worlds, millions of enemies. And then, softly, she spoke words the galaxy hadn't heard in centuries. "Prepare the fleet. It's time to remind them who we are." The engines of the Ark of Sol ignited, burning brighter than any star. And somewhere across the galaxy, countless alien sensors began to scream. The silence was over. Humanity had returned and the galaxy would soon remember why it once feared them. Panic spread slowly like poison in water. When the patrol ship Vareth 9 disappeared, no one cared at first. In the vast galaxy, ships vanished all the time, into storms, black holes, or pirate traps. But then a second ship went missing. Then a third. Then entire fleets. Each time there were no distress calls. No wreckage, no clues. Only silence. Within weeks, the galaxy's great empires began to whisper. The Zarn blamed the Turoks. The Turoks accused the Vren Dominion. Trade routes grew quiet. Convoys demanded escorts. Something was stalking them in the dark. On the capital world of Zareth Prime, the Galactic Council met in secret. Hundreds of alien delegates filled the Silver Hall, their voices sharp and full of fear. "This is sabotage," one shouted. "Pirates," another growled. "An unknown enemy," a third said. "Something that hunts," the High Chancellor raised his hand. His voice trembled. "All we know is that it strikes without warning, and it leaves no trace." Then a transmission appeared on the main screen, blurry, cracked, half-static. It was from a mining station near the dead star Epsilon 3. The image showed terrified workers screaming as alarms blared. Behind them, shadows moved through the corridors, fast, silent, shaped like armored ghosts. The feed ended with a flash of light. Then only one word appeared on the screen: vengeance. The chamber fell silent. No one spoke for several seconds. The word burned in every alien mind, simple, cold, and human. Far away in the void between stars, the human fleet moved unseen. The Ark of Sol glided through the blackness, surrounded by smaller ships, ghost cruisers invisible to all scanners. No light, no sound. Only the faint hum of ancient engines. Admiral Rhea Carter stood on the command bridge, watching as maps of alien space flickered before her. Her officers worked quietly, their faces pale and focused. Most of them had been born in the dark, raised in secret human colonies that survived after Earth's fall. They had never seen sunlight. They had never known peace. But they carried one purpose in their hearts: vengeance. "Status of operations?" she asked. A young officer replied, "Phase 1 complete. Epsilon 3 eliminated. No survivors." Carter nodded. "Good. Begin Phase 2. The officer hesitated. "Ma'am, some of the crew, they're asking questions." "About In Mercy." Carter's eyes hardened. "Mercy is what they never gave us." She turned to the window, watching the endless stars. Out there were the species that had destroyed her world, races that had burned Earth's skies and laughed as humans begged for help. Now they would learn what humans had become. On a distant moon, a small alien outpost picked up strange readings. A security officer stared at his screen in confusion. "Command, I'm detecting—" "Wait. It looks like human code?" "Impossible," came the reply. Then the outpost's power failed. In the darkness, red lights flickered. A deep metallic voice echoed through every speaker. "You took our world. Now we take yours." Seconds later, the outpost exploded. A wave of electromagnetic energy swept across the system, cutting off every communication network. Entire planets fell silent. The shadows of Earth were spreading. Back at the Galactic Council, chaos erupted. Reports poured in. Military bases destroyed, convoys gone, fleets vanished. Every empire accused the other, but deep down they all knew the truth. This was no pirate attack, no rebellion. It was precision, strategy, revenge, and only one species ever fought like that. An ancient historian stood up and spoke softly. "I have studied their wars, their psychology, their will to survive." He turned toward the council. "If humans are truly back, then this is not a war. It's a reckoning." The Chancellor's voice cracked. "We exterminated them. We saw their world burn." The historian looked down. "Then tell me, Chancellor, who are we fighting now?" Back aboard the Ark of Sol, the fleet gathered in formation. Dozens of ships dark as the void, powered by hybrid human-AI systems, each one named after a memory: Hope, Wrath, Eden, Ashes. A hologram flickered before Admiral Carter, an old image of Earth, blue and whole. She reached out, her hand passing through the light. For a moment her face softened. Then she whispered to herself, "We are the children of a dead world, and we will make the galaxy remember our mother's name." The fleet jumped into hyperspace, vanishing like smoke. Behind them, the wreckage of alien outposts drifted through the void, each marked with the same simple word burned into the hull: human. Across the galaxy, empires trembled. No one could see the enemy. No one could reason with them. All they knew was this: the ghosts of Earth had returned, and the shadows they cast were only getting darker. For months, the galaxy had lived in fear. Whispers filled every station, every market, every home. The ghosts of Earth were real. They were watching, waiting. No one slept peacefully anymore. Every flicker on a radar screen, every echo in space, every static on a transmission, someone would whisper, "Humans." But no one had seen them. Not truly. Until the day of the first strike. It began on the outer edge of the Zarn Empire, at the fortress world of Varkos Prime, a planet surrounded by a ring of defense satellites and guarded by 2 fleets. For centuries it had stood untouched, proud, powerful, unbreakable. On that day, the sky above Varkos turned black. At first, sensors picked up a faint distortion, like space itself was bending. The officers on the command deck laughed. "Probably a storm," one said. "Or pirate jammers," another added. Then every light on the planet went out. A deep hum filled the air like a living heartbeat. And in orbit, something massive decloaked. A ship. No, many ships. They moved in perfect silence. Sleek, black and sharp like blades of night. No insignias. No signals. No mercy. The first beam hit before anyone could react. It wasn't fire, it was pure energy, condensed gravity ripping through metal and rock. One of the defense stations vanished in an instant, turned to dust. Panic spread across the fleet. "Who's attacking us? Identify them!" the admiral shouted. Then a transmission came through, all frequencies, all languages. A voice, calm, human. "This is for Earth." The fleet commander froze. "Earth? That's impossible." But it was already too late. The human ship struck again. Beams of silent light tore through alien cruisers like paper. Every missile they launched was intercepted. Every defense failed. The battle lasted only 8 minutes. When it ended, the sky of Varkos Prime was filled with debris and fire. And in the center of it all, a single human ship hovered, massive and quiet. On its hull was written one name, Ark of Sol. From her command bridge, Admiral Rhea Carter watched the destruction below. Her eyes were calm, her voice steady. "Report. All enemy ships neutralized. No survivors detected." She nodded slowly. "Transmit the message." Her communications officer pressed a button. Across the galaxy, on every major channel, a simple transmission played. It showed the burning world of Varkos Prime and the face of Admiral Carter. Her voice was clear, emotionless. "This is humanity. You thought we were gone. You thought we were weak. But we have not forgotten. You destroyed our home. Now the galaxy will learn balance." Then the screen went black. The message lasted only 20 seconds, but it changed everything. Within hours, chaos spread across the stars. The Vren Dominion ordered emergency defenses. The Turok fleets moved to secure their borders. Every empire feared they would be next. In the shadows, human ships moved with precision, striking where no one expected, vanishing before anyone could track them. Supply depots exploded. Military bases disappeared. Entire planets went dark. Alien generals tried to predict the next attack. They failed every time. The humans seemed to know everything. Their coordinates, their fleets, their weaknesses. One alien officer screamed in frustration, "How can we fight an enemy we cannot see?" His commander whispered, "You don't. You hide, and hope they pass you by." On the Ark of Sol, the human crew gathered in silence. They watched the galaxy burn on their screens, cities collapsing, fleets retreating, empires panicking. Some cheered. Others simply stared, hollow-eyed. Captain Elias, Carter's second-in-command, approached her. "We did it," he said quietly. "The first strike. They'll never forget this day." Carter didn't smile. Her gaze stayed on the flames of Varkos. "They will remember," she said. "But not for the reason we want," he frowned. "You doubt the mission?" "I don't doubt the mission," she replied. "I doubt what it will make of us." The captain hesitated, then nodded. He understood. The war was only beginning, and revenge had a price. Across the galaxy, news spread faster than light. Billions watched the recording of Varkos Prime's fall. Some feared humanity, some hated them, but a few quietly admired them, because deep in their hearts they knew the truth. No other species could fight like humans. No other race could fall so far and still rise again. In the dark of space, the Ark of Sol continued its path. Its engines glowed like the heart of a dying sun. Admiral Carter stood at the viewing window and whispered to herself, "We are not conquerors. We are survivors, and survival is something they'll never understand." Behind her, the stars reflected on her face like ghosts of the past. The first strike was complete, but it was only the beginning. The galaxy trembled, and humanity was just getting started. The galaxy was burning. Every empire, every colony, every trade route lived in fear. The name human became a curse, a warning, a prayer. Children whispered it in the dark. Soldiers refused to speak it at all. For the first time in centuries, the great powers of the galaxy stood united. Not in peace, but in terror. Across thousands of systems, fleets gathered. Old enemies shared information. Weapons were upgraded, walls built higher, patrols doubled. The Galactic Council, once a slow, proud government, became a war council overnight, and in the center of it all, a single word echoed through every meeting: humanity. At the High Council chamber on Zareth Prime, chaos filled the air. Dozens of alien representatives shouted over one another. Images of destroyed planets flashed on the screens. Varkos Prime, Epsilon 3, the shattered outposts. They are machines. They cannot be human, one shouted. They fight like ghosts, cried another. They strike without reason, without mercy. An older alien with deep silver eyes stood slowly. He was the historian who had once studied human wars. They fight with reason, he said quietly. We just do not understand it. The chamber fell silent. What do you mean? The Chancellor asked. The old alien turned toward the great window, where the stars burned like distant fires. Humans never fight for power. They fight for survival, for pride, for memory. If they are back, it means they never stopped surviving. Far away beyond known space, the human fleet moved like a storm. The Ark of Sol was surrounded by hundreds of smaller vessels, each one named after fallen Earth cities: New York, Kyoto, Lagos, Berlin, Moscow. The names glowed like old ghosts reborn. Inside the command chamber, Admiral Rhea Carter watched as reports came in. Dozens of enemy fleets destroyed. Entire planets surrendered without a single human landing. Fear alone had become their strongest weapon. Her officer smiled. The galaxy trembles, Admiral. They're scattering like dust. But Carter didn't smile. She looked at the map. So many red lights fading, so many worlds burning. Fear is a weapon, she said softly, but it cuts both ways. Captain Elias stepped forward. Ma'am, the crew wants to know what comes next. We've already shown them our power. Carter's eyes hardened. Power is not the goal. Balance is. Meanwhile, deep within alien territory, resistance was forming. A combined armada, ships from 5 empires, was being built in secret. The Council called it Operation Dawnfire. Their goal: hunt down and destroy the Ark of Sol. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, gathered near the Crimson Star of Myreth. It was the largest fleet in galactic history, and yet they were afraid. The Admiral of the Zarn Navy looked over the assembled forces. Remember, he told them, we are fighting humans. They bleed, they die. They can be defeated. But even as he spoke, his hands shook. Back on the Ark of Sol, Admiral Carter stood alone in her private chamber. On the wall, a small metal plaque carried the words of an old Earth poem. We are the ashes that learn to burn again. She touched the plaque gently. Father, she whispered, you were right. We are not done yet. Her reflection in the glass looked almost alien now. Cold eyes, sleepless face, a leader shaped by vengeance. She wondered if the galaxy was right to fear her. If maybe, just maybe, humanity had gone too far. Then the AI voice of the Ark interrupted her thoughts. Admiral, enemy coalition detected. Coordinates, Myreth system. Carter turned sharply. How many ships? Over 9,000, the AI replied. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then Carter spoke, calm and steady. Then the galaxy has chosen its battlefield. Hours later, the human fleet arrived at the edge of the Myreth system. Thousands of alien ships filled the void like a wall of steel and fire. It was a sight no human had seen in centuries. The united strength of the galaxy, standing against them. Admiral Carter stood on the bridge, her officers tense and ready. This is it, Captain Elias whispered. The whole galaxy waiting for us. Carter looked at the endless stars. They tremble because they know, she said quietly. They know what we are capable of. In the command center of the alien coalition, alarms blared. The Ark of Sol appeared on their sensors. Just one ship against thousands. The alien admiral laughed bitterly. They came alone? Fools. Then his smile faded. The human flagship opened its wings. Hundreds of smaller ships uncloaked around it, dark as shadows, silent as death. The admiral's breath caught in his throat. They were waiting for us. In that moment, across the galaxy, every eye turned toward Myrath. Every world held its breath. The greatest battle in galactic history was about to begin, and in the silence before the storm, Admiral Carter whispered one last command. Let the galaxy remember why it trembles. Engines roared. Stars flared. The void itself seemed to shake. The war for the future had begun. The Myrath system burned with light and fire. 9,000 alien ships faced the human fleet. The combined armada of 5 empires had never seen a single enemy strike so boldly. And now the humans were here. Silent, precise, unstoppable. Admiral Rhea Carter stood on the bridge of the Ark of Sol, her eyes scanning the endless grid of alien ships. Today, she said quietly, we fight for every fallen world, for every home they destroyed. For Earth, the crew waited, tense. Some had never seen battle on this scale. Others had grown up hearing only stories of humanity's past glories. All understood one truth. The galaxy had never faced anything like this. Engage Phase 1, Carter ordered. The human fleet moved as one. Smooth, silent, deadly. Black ships slipped through enemy formations like shadows. Energy beams carved through alien cruisers, destroying weapon systems, shields, and engines, before the enemy even knew they were under attack. The alien fleets panicked. They fired blindly, striking each other in confusion. Command structures collapsed. Ships turned on one another. Chaos spread faster than human firepower could, and then came Phase 2. From the core of the Ark of Sol, the humans activated a weapon the galaxy had never seen, a harnessed starbeam, condensed from the energy of a nearby dying sun. Its light cut through space like a blade of fire. Planets shook, fleets disintegrated, entire sectors went dark. The alien admiral of the coalition watched helplessly as his forces crumbled. How can they have this power? He whispered. Amid the chaos, Admiral Carter's voice rang through every channel, translated for every species, clear, calm, human. You destroyed our home. You thought we would never rise. You thought we were weak. You were wrong. We are humanity, and we are the future. Silence followed her message. Then explosions. Then the screams of systems falling to human precision. The galaxy had never witnessed such a display of power. Yet it was not cruelty, it was justice. Every strike targeted military installations. Every civilian world was spared whenever possible. Humanity fought to remind the galaxy of balance, not to conquer it. Hours later, the battlefield was empty. The alien fleet had been shattered. The survivors retreated, carrying news of humanity's return across the stars. No one knew where the humans would strike next. No one wanted to find out. Admiral Carter stood on the bridge, looking at the holographic projection of the galaxy. Red dots marked the systems they had liberated, destroyed, or neutralized. Blue dots, their own fleet, glowed silently in the void. Captain Elias approached, awestruck. "We've won." "All of them?" he asked. Carter shook her head. "Not yet. The galaxy is still ours to guide. But they must remember who we are. We are not the past. We are the future." Across the galaxy, alien children gazed at the stars, hearing stories of the humans who had returned. In the marketplaces of distant planets, merchants whispered the name human with awe and fear. Soldiers carried tales of black ships, of shadows that moved faster than light, of a voice that could command fleets with a single word. And on some distant, quiet planets, old veterans of the past wars whispered to their grandchildren, they were the children of Earth. They came back, and they changed the galaxy forever. Back on the Ark of Sol, Admiral Carter walked along the deck, looking at the young crew who had never known peace, only duty. She paused before the memorial wall, a simple black panel engraved with the names of lost human colonies. She traced a finger over each name. "We are their memory," she said. "We are the legacy they gave us, and we will make sure the galaxy never forgets." The human fleet began to move again. Not to conquer, not to destroy, but to protect. Every ship carried the message of a species that had fallen, risen and grown beyond fear. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy looked at humanity and saw something more than just survivors. They saw strength, courage, pride. They saw the future. And somewhere in the dark edges of space, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if the galaxy itself was witnessing the dawn of a new era. Admiral Carter stood on the bridge one last time, gazing into the void. Her voice was soft but firm. We are humanity. We remember. We protect and the galaxy. We'll tremble no more. The stars went silent. The war was over. The legend had begun, and humanity had finally struck back.